What's going on, you guys? Knights of Horror here, coming back at you with a new video. If you guys saw last week's 3 videos, we announced that we are finally doing a podcast dedicated to horror. So go check that out. That premieres next week, so I hope you guys are ready for that. That is one of 2 videos coming out next week. The second video coming out next week is going to be top 10 scary games, video games, so on console and all that. So I look forward to that. But let's talk about today's video. Today's video, we're talking about my favorite top 10 serial killers in horror movies. So without further ado, let's get this video started.
Good evening.
Now, hitting number 10 is going to be my boy Ghostface. Now, Ghostface is an interesting character in my opinion. He has changed so much over the course of 4 movies that they've done. It's always a new killer, but it's always but Ghostface is always going after Sidney. Now, Sidney is the main protagonist of the Scream series, so it is kind of you can see the reason why Ghostface is always going after Sidney. So, Ghostface has a number 10 in my spot. Plus, look at his costume, dude. It's all black with the white iconic mask and the regular knife. You can't go wrong with that. Nice and simple, so yeah. Number 9 is going to be Jack Torrance. Now, you guys are going to say, really, Jack Torrance may not be a big-time serial killer, but in the end, he goes full-blown serial killer mode. And I know he was kind of possessed by something, but still, just the fact that he goes full-blown serial killer mode and tries to kill his family is why I think he's one of the greatest serial killers of all time. On top of that, we never confirmed or not that if Jack Torrance is a ghost who just keeps reliving the same thing, so he may have murdered so many people in that hotel that we might not even know. But nonetheless, Jack Torrance is a really badass killer, of course, with his axe and everything, and his iconic lines and stuff, so yeah. Number 8 is going to go to my boy, the possessed doll, Chucky himself. Now, Chucky is known for going doll jumping or actually staying in the same doll. It is seen in the movie that the serial killer Charles E. Ray possesses himself inside the doll in order to live longer so he can find a new body so he can take over that and go on his killing spree again. But nonetheless, Chucky has been a pretty interesting character, as powerful as he is as a doll, and a lot of his infamous kills. And him constantly going after Andy, it's just been a wild ride watching these guys make these movies and stuff. So, Chucky, number 8. Number 7 is going to be the infamous Jigsaw Killer. Now, the Jigsaw Killer is very interesting in my point of view because a lot of what he does, he just lets his traps do all the work and he's never killed anyone with his bare hands. So, to me, I find that very interesting. And plus, he doesn't kill people for no reason. He gives people opportunities to actually live these traps, tell the truth of what they've done wrong in life, and he gives them a chance to survival. His games are a torture method to those who are kind of like the scumbags of the world, and I like to see what he comes up with next as far as traps goes, because throughout all the course of these movies we've seen so many different traps and so many different ways of people dying that they just keep getting interesting as we go on. Number 6 is going to go to my boy Leatherface. Now, Leatherface is just a really interesting killer. He is actually sort of a cannibal, so he kills his victims and then takes off their faces and makes them into masks, and he wears their face as masks, giving him the name Leatherface. But, you know, he runs around with a chainsaw. That's really cool, and his family is deranged and stuff, so this character has always been one of my favorites as far as being one of the Titans of Terror, and he's a really interesting character. On top of that, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's an old tale based on a true story of a real-life incident that happened similar to that. So we see a lot of that incorporated into these movies. Number 5 is going to be the infamous Norman Bates. Now, the split personality guy, Norman Bates, man, he is insane up in here. He believes that he's his mom's at some points, and that's how he does most of his killings, is through his mom. Now, he owns this hotel that is always vacant, and his house is right up the hill. And his mom is always talking to him in his head, but he ends up becoming his mom when he kills his victims, as we've seen in the infamous shower scene in the first Psycho movie where he kills the girl. But it is later on revealed that Norman Bates is his mom, as at the very end of the movie we see him dressed up in his mom as he's trying to kill someone in the basement. So I just think Norman Bates is kind of a badass character because he's got that split personality, and you know, he's got this hotel so he can just honestly kill someone if they decide to stay there if he feels they deserve to die. Number 4 is going to be Freddy Krueger. Now this guy is just something else. He haunts people's nightmares. He's the demon that goes in and kills his victims in their nightmares. And he's had so many infamous kills over the span of his series of movies he's done that I don't know how they can just keep going. But nonetheless, Freddy Krueger is another badass Titan of Terror, which is going to bring me to my next Titan of Terror, number 3, Jason Voorhees, the zombie man who just doesn't die and has gone to hell and come back and has done it all. You know, whoever stays at Camp Crystal Lake, he just kills them, trying to get revenge from his mom. But Jason Voorhees, with his supernatural strength and everything, is just one of the best killers ever out there. He's actually probably one of the first killers I ever knew as a little kid growing up, and him and Freddy were like my two favorites because I saw that Freddy vs. Jason growing up. So iconically, those two are just great characters, and they're part of the Titans of Terror. So their last Titan of Terror is number 2 on my list is Michael Myers. Now Michael Myers is much like Jason Voorhees. He's been through it all, has that supernatural strength and everything, and he just goes out and tries to kill what's left of his family. But he'll kill anyone that gets in the way of that. He doesn't kill kids. That's part of his kind of like rule. At least in every movie I've seen, he never killed a kid. But nonetheless, Michael Myers is a badass villain, and he's one of my all-time favorites. And number 1, in my opinion, because these movies are sadistic and this serial killer is a maniac, but he's also smart at the same time, is going to be Hannibal Lecter, Hannibal the Cannibal. So Hannibal the Cannibal is an interesting character because he's kind of a doctor, but he's gone insane and he likes eating people. So to me, Hannibal is just one of those deranged serial killers who just wants to eat people. But he knows what he's doing. He knows how he knows how to dissect a human, and he knows when they can die and stuff. For example, when he kills Ray Liotta in one of the movies, he kills him by eating his brain off. But nonetheless, he keeps him alive for a little bit until he feels like he wants to kill him. But Hannibal the Cannibal goes down as one of the greatest serial killers of all time because of how smart he is and what he's accomplished over the years. That's going to be it for this video, you guys. Those are my top 10 favorite serial killers from horror movies. Let me know what your guys' favorite serial killers are down in the comments below. I always respond to everyone's comments, so let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for helping me get to 100 subscribers. I know that was last week, but I'm still excited over that because it's a new milestone in the channel. Make sure you tune in next week. We're going to have the podcast and the top 10 scariest video games on consoles and everything. So thanks guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.